We now can confirm that they have just been found and they are in the custody of U.S. Customs. They were stationed at Cape Cod in Massachusetts for an international training exercise when they disappeared off the grid. And it appears that they may have fled Saturday night while on a chaperone off-base trip to a shopping mall. So joining us now with the new information on this is CNN's national correspondent Deborah Farrick. What happened? How were they found?
Well, here's what we can tell you. They are actually not in U.S. custody. They're in the custody of Canadian Border Services.
Okay.
So these three senior military officers were able to essentially cross from Buffalo into Canada, and that's when their passports and their visas were checked, and that's when they were stopped. They're now in custody. I spoke to somebody with familiarity of the situation who says that, look, these three senior military officers, they did not break the law. They were here legally. They had their passports. They had their visas. They were not allowed to actually go to another country to seek asylum, which it appears is what they were trying to do. But they were stopped at the border. It's unclear whether, in fact, they will go back to this base, Edwards Base on Cape Cod. This is a training exercise that they were doing here along with 6 other nations, basically coalition team building. And they get to know each other so that when the forces, their U.S. Central Command in that region, they can work with partners there. These 3 officers decided that they wanted something different, something perhaps better, and they left.
So then what happens to them now? Because you said are they not, they cannot get asylum, right? They're not.
Well, they've been stopped. They've been stopped. They would have to have a very good reason.
Eligible is the word that I'm searching for.
Exactly. They would have to have a very good reason for seeking asylum. They are senior military leaders with the Afghan National Army.
But they're among 200 soldiers, as you said. They came from 6 nations at their.
That's correct. And there were
mission.
There were six other Afghans who were there training as well. So look, I spoke to somebody. This happened recently with 3 Afghan police who were actually training with the Drug Enforcement Administration. They too attempted to get from Buffalo into Canada. They too were stopped. They were sent back to Afghanistan. So we'll see whether in fact the same thing happens to them. The program ends in just 2 days, so they may not be going back to that base. Or if they are, they'll probably be indeed chaperoned.
And they are with Canadian, you said?
The Canadian Border Services, exactly.